Okay, so today we're going to be covering color correction. I want to keep this very short and simple. There's a couple of factors that play in. One is how the video is shot. This video was shot on a 4K camera, and it was, I believe, a Sony. So there's a little bit higher saturation for those cameras, depending on who set it up. But just overall, in general, Sonys tend to have a higher saturation rate. So we're going to make sure we watch that for when we correct it. And then also, if you notice, this camera view is kind of gray, kind of hazy, so it was shot in a low contrast. So those are some of the things that we need to look for when we're trying to add it back. Let me start with the simplest way. One, when a camera records, like say in a log or S-log or something like that, there are presets automatically that we can use that will automatically color correct this and save you tons of time. So for this footage, I believe I used this Rec 709. So let's see how that looks. I mean, that's almost spot on perfect right there. So before even trying to mess with all these buttons on here, I think that is actually perfect for what we're gonna do. And I would stop. However, say if you don't have a preset and you're trying to just start from scratch, hit this auto joint. Give it a second. As you can see, it's brought up the saturation because it's going just based off what it's seeing on the screen here, not necessarily how or which camera was used to shoot. As you notice, we'll add more contrast back to kind of get that. It's a little too high, so right about there. I'll bring the blacks down. We'll open up this creative panel. We'll hit sharpen a little bit. And you can see the vibrance kind of adds like this to it. So I'm going to add a little bit more. And then the other thing I like to do is I know this room, so I know that these walls are actually kind of more of a overexposed white. So if I click the white balance selector, it'll actually adjust the white balance for me. And you'll notice that if I click on something else that isn't so white, it'll start really messing with the colors here. So I kind of like to stay within that. I think right there's perfect. I'm going to bring the highlights down a little bit, and right there's perfectly fine. This will look very good. When we export, we'll make sure that we use maximum render depth. We'll make sure that the bit rate's high. But if you see, that's a lot of work just to do when all I really had to do was just do the one preset. So I'm never against presets. And then even then, after you add the preset, you can hit auto one more time. And you can see it brought up the saturation a little too much there, which I don't want. I bring a little bit more contrast back. We're still sharpened, and you can see the side by side here of what it looked like before. And there's other creative LUTs that Adobe has that you can go through and mess with, especially if you're trying to do like say like a black and white or neo-noir style. There's different intensities to that. Also, I like to not mess with that too much, so I'll just drop the saturation all the way down, and then you can have like a look like that to your video. But yeah, there's just so many different things you can do. There's nothing that says you have to do it a certain way, but there's always a good frame of reference of like, okay, black and white tends to represent the past, where vibrant full colors represents the present and the future. That's just a rule of thumb that I usually follow. But let me know if that helps. If you have any more questions about color correction, let me know. I'm gonna put a little bit more info in the details if you need it, or just comment, and then also subscribe. And let me know, like I said, if there's something about editing that you want to know about Premiere Pro, let me know. I have quite a bit of experience. Oh, I also like the vignette here. I don't know if you guys have ever used it. This is where you can kind of bring in I forgot to add that, sorry. But yeah, like and subscribe, comment, let me know what you guys think, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.